Hi guys, welcome back to Planet Mithril. My name is Mithril, and today I'm rejoining the dwarves of Thorin's company who have been left alone on their journey for far too long, and I'm continuing now with one of the last few dwarves to get tackled, Bifur the Dwarf. That's right, I'm finally back with the Dwarves of Thorin's company, and today I'll be tackling the highest contender for pure chaotic dwarvish energy, Bifur the Dwarf. Wearing very similar garb to that of his relative Bofur, I'm going to show you how to bring Bifur to life and make him stand out against his dwarven kin. Although with hair like that, it really shouldn't be too difficult now, should it? I'll be working my Bifur off a Corvus Black undercoat prior to painting. Brushes ready, let's get to it guys. I'm starting off by giving what little of Bifur's face is actually visible under that absolute mane of hair, and his hands a base coat using Bugmans Glow. The entirety of his mad hair and beard now have been base coated using Corvus Black. I honestly can't work out which section is more unkempt. The entirety of his jerkin, sleeves, collar and all are being base coated using XV88. His boots, belt, scabbard and small sections of cloth hanging down between the tunic openings are being base coated using Dryad Bark. The shaft of his big pointy boar spear is now being picked out with some Doombull Brown. The fur that lines the hem of the tunic is being carefully base coated using Mechanicus standard grey, getting this all within the grooves between the individual fibres. Finally, the head of the boar spear and any extra detailing around the scabbard is being picked out using Leadbelcher. All the exposed skin is now being given a shade using Reikland Fleshshade. The entirety of the tunic, the shaft, leathers and boots are being shaded down using Agrax Earthshade. Be a little bit sparing over the texture of the tunic to avoid any excess build-up between any of the ridges. The final shade is being applied with Nuln Oil, and this is just being applied to the remaining areas, namely the hair, beard, metals and furs. I'm beginning to layer up the facial structure and define the fingers and hands using a 1-to-1 mix of Bugmans Glow and Cadian Fleshtone. being followed up with a second layer using pure Cadian Fleshtone and further defining the structure of his very limited face and further defining the fingers. Given the lack of actual face visible, we won't need so many interim layers for poor Bifur here. With the highlight now being applied to the more pronounced facial and knuckle details using a 1-to-1 mix of Cadian Fleshtone and Kislev Flesh. Now I'm just using Abaddon Black and Pallid Butch Flesh to paint in his eyes and bring out the rest of his character. I'm applying an initial layer to the hair now using Eshin Grey, starting by picking out the braiding down his beard and creating some texture and definition over the slightly annoying flat surface of that unkempt nest he calls hair. It's being followed by a 1-to-1 mix of Eshin Grey and Administratum Grey, and continuing to layer up the texture of his hair and beard. This is being followed up now with a dot highlight to the curves and tips of the braids, hair and beard now using Administratum Grey. And then I'm tying all the greys together, adding a splash more depth by applying a glaze using heavily diluted Druchii Violet. The main body of the yellow tunic now is being layered up with a 1-to-1 mix of XV88 and Zamesi Desert, building in the creases and folds over the arms, leaving the shades showing in the recesses, and with the more panelled sections you can see how I'm trying to focus on the inner sections between the ridges, which will be framed a different colour very shortly. I'm further strengthening the tone and texture of the yellows by applying a final layer using pure Zamesi Desert, being more targeted particularly over the shoulder fronds and the inner panelling over his torso and legs. A highlight is now being applied using a rough 2-to-1 mix of Zamesi Desert and Screaming Skull, giving some nice, precise and tight lines just to frame the upper edges of the harsh, ridged panels and finish defining the curves and folds of the sleeves. I'm very carefully going over the tunic and picking out all the raised patterning using Rhinox Hide. Again, being as careful and as targeted as possible here to avoid clipping my Rhinox onto the finished yellows. This is then being followed up by a tight super edge highlight using Doombull Brown just to lift the tone a little more against all those yellows. I'm now just feathering some texture lightly over the fur trim that hangs down at the hem of the tunic, using Dawnstone. The boots, belt and scabbard now are being layered up with a 1-to-1 mix of Dryad Bark and Gorthor Brown. With an edge highlight being applied using Gorthor Brown. I'm tying all the browns together now with a glaze of Agrax Earthshade. I'm just applying some delicate wood grain texture down the boar spear shaft using Tuskgor Fur. Any remaining metallic details, namely the axe buried in his forehead and the belt buckle, are being picked out now using Leadbelcher. with all the metal details being highlighted using Stormhose Silver. With that, another dwarf is finished and ready to join the company. Well, we've been away from them for a little while, so now it's so good to finally be back, finishing them all off. And that just leaves 3 remaining, all from one family group. Can you remember who they are? I might need help there. For basing tips and tricks, please head over and check out my 5-minute bases playlist. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell to make sure you never miss a Mythful upload. And thank you so much to all our patrons. Your support is so greatly appreciated to keep the channel going and doing the content that we love doing for you guys. Until next time, guys, take care, and as always, happy hobbying.